Welcome back, wisdom builders. Ready for another guiding truth that can strengthen your faith and lead your steps every day? Today's message will encourage your heart. Stick around, this one's for you. This is your Lolo Adam. Let me ask you first, have you ever wondered why some people seem to accomplish so much while others struggle to move forward? The difference often comes down to one powerful trait: being industrious. It's not just about working hard, but about working with purpose, consistency, and wisdom. In today's thought, we'll uncover why an industrious spirit can open doors to success, growth, and lasting fulfillment in life. Being industrious goes beyond simply keeping yourself busy. It's about using your time and energy wisely, staying focused on what truly matters, and refusing to let distractions pull you away from your goals. Industrious people understand the value of persistence. They know that every small step, when taken faithfully, adds up to something far greater over time. In this reflection, we'll dive deeper into what it means to live with an industrious mindset, how it shapes character, and why it's a trait worth developing in every season of life. Stay tuned, because this insight could inspire you to see your daily efforts in a whole new light and encourage you to work not just harder, but smarter with purpose and determination. We've seen how being industrious means more than just working hard. It's about living with diligence, focus, and wisdom. Interestingly, the Bible, particularly the book of Proverbs, discusses this character extensively. Bible's wisdom often contrasts the life of the diligent with the life of the lazy, showing us the rewards of steady effort and the consequences of neglect. Stay with me till the end, because I'll share how the wisdom about diligence can guide not only in our work, but also in our walk with God, leading to blessings and progress. For instance, Proverbs 10:4 says, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." This verse teaches us a simple yet powerful truth. Laziness leads to lack, while being diligent brings abundance. When we neglect responsibility and avoid hard work, we limit our opportunities and often face struggles as a result. On the other hand, being persistent, working faithfully, wisely, and consistently creates a path toward growth, stability, and even prosperity. This reminds us that success isn't built overnight, but through steady effort and discipline. It's not just about material wealth, but also about the richness of character, trust, and fulfillment that comes from living with an industrious psyche. Picture this: Anna and Carla were classmates preparing for their final exams. Anna often procrastinated, spending more time scrolling on her phone and hanging out with friends than studying. She told herself she would catch up later, but later never really came. Carla, on the other hand, set aside regular study hours, asked questions when she didn't understand, and stayed focused on her goals. When exam day arrived, Anna struggled through the questions, regretting the time she wasted. Carla, meanwhile, confidently answered most of the tests because of the effort and consistency she had put in. Her dedication not only earned her high marks, but also opened the door for scholarship opportunities. What we learned here is that laziness may feel easy in the moment, but it leads to missed opportunities and regret. Diligence, however, brings rewards that go beyond grades. It shapes our self-regulation, builds reliance, and sets the foundation for future benefit. These show us that persevering hands create lasting results, while idle hands leave us empty. Another example, in Proverbs 12:24 speaks, "Diligent hands will rule, but lazy hands enforce labor." This message highlights the clear contrast between diligence and laziness. Those who are conscientious, working faithfully, consistently, and with excellence, are more likely to rise into positions of influence, leadership, and responsibility. Their industrious mindset earns trust and opens doors to greater opportunities. On the other hand, laziness leads to a life of struggle and limitation, where a person may end up serving others out of necessity rather than choice. This word reminds us that our work ethic forms our future. Being sedulous leads to honor and freedom, while indolent results in missed opportunities and hardship. Imagine this: David and Mark started working at the same company right after college. David was punctual. He came to work on time, finished his tasks with excellence, and was willing to learn new skills. Over time, his supervisors noticed his reliability and gave him more responsibilities. Mark, however, often arrived late, did the bare minimum, and avoided extra tasks whenever he could. After a few years, David was promoted to a leadership position where he supervised a small team. His hard work and steadiness paid off, giving him influence and respect in the company. Mark, on the other hand, remained stuck in the same role, always frustrated but never willing to put in the effort to improve. The lesson is clear. Diligence opens doors to growth, leadership, and freedom, while laziness traps a person in restraint and frustration. Bees remind us that industrious hands will rule, gaining influence and opportunities, while laziness results in being forced into situations where choices are limited. Here's one more, Proverbs 14:23, which talks about all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. These verse teaches us that true progress comes from action, not just words. Hard work, whether in studies, career, relationships, or spiritual growth, always produces some form of profit, whether it's victory, growth, or valuable lessons learned. On the other hand, simply talking about plans without taking steps to act leads nowhere and results in disappointment. This idea reminds us that industriousness is proven through coherent effort, not empty promises, and that success belongs to those who are willing to do the work, not just dream about it. Picture this. Daniel often told everyone he wanted to get fit and live a healthier lifestyle. He would talk about joining a gym, eating better, and waking up early to jog, but every day he delayed taking the first step. Weeks turned into months, and while his words sounded convincing, nothing in his life actually changed. His health began to suffer because he only spoke of his plans but never acted on them. On the other hand, his friend Marco had the same goal. Instead of endlessly talking about it, Marco started small, taking short walks, preparing healthier meals, and gradually building discipline. He didn't boast or talk much about what he was doing. Instead, he stayed consistent. After some time, Marco's body grew stronger, his energy levels increased, and people began to notice the results of his effort. These taught us that action speaks louder than words. It reminds us that being fervent always brings an appearance of profit, whether health, triumph, or development. But just talking without action keeps us stuck in the same place. If we want to see an outcome, we must turn our words into persistent effort. Now, as I promised earlier, let's look at how diligence is not just about our work, but also about our walk with God. The same discipline we practice in our daily responsibilities, showing up on time, staying committed to our goal, and working with excellence, should also be applied in our spiritual lives. Just as we put effort into our careers or personal goals, we are also called to be perseverant in prayer, faithful in reading God's Word, and intentional in applying His truth each day. When we remain steadfast in these spiritual practices, we open ourselves to God's blessings, wisdom, and lasting growth. Persistence in our faith doesn't just strengthen our relationship with Him, it also shapes our character, guides our decisions, and equips us to face life's challenges with peace and confidence, which helps to gain accomplishment in life. In the end, true industriousness is not only about prospering in this world, but also about living our lives according to His will and receiving the eternal rewards He has sworn. Having these traits, both in our work and in our faith, leads to a life of purpose and fulfillment. It's not about rushing achievement, but about faithfully planting seeds, daily trusting that in time God will bring the harvest. True diligence brings tranquility in our efforts, strength in our challenges, and assurance in our future. So let us strive not only to work hard, but also to flourish with God's Word, knowing that He recompenses faithfulness. If this message encouraged you today, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs this wisdom. And if you found value in this video, I invite you to like and subscribe to more Bible-based insights and join this community. Together, Let's keep growing in diligence, faith, and purpose. Do you mind if I ask? If you could improve one habit to become more industrious, what would it be and why? Your perspective can be relatable and helpful to others. Write it in the comments.